Got it.
Hello and welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And today we are talking about something that is very close to our hearts. We're going to be talking about a digital nomad visa.
Sounds very technical, doesn't it? Digital nomad visa. But it just doesn't apply to what you imagine as a digital nomad is someone who has got their own business and just works abroad and, does drop shipping and stuff like that. This is mainly about if you're working for a company, say you're working for a company in the USA or the UK, and you can work remotely and you're interested in moving to New Zealand, you want to come to New Zealand, but still work. And you can do that with this new visa.
Yeah, it's
which
very
is great,
exciting.
Isn't it?
It's really exciting. So when Charlotte reached out to us, we were like, yes, we want to talk about that. Just a reminder before we jump into the show, Charlotte is part of our NZ Ahead community. She's over there on the Slack group. If you join our Slack group, then you get to reach out to Charlotte and talk to her in real time, as well as all the other beautiful, gorgeous people that are on that community.
Yeah, we did a live Zoom with them this morning. It's a brilliant community. If you're thinking of moving to New Zealand, you should really, really think about being part of a community. It doesn't have to be ours, but ours is the best.
Oh, right. I was just going to pull you up. I was going to say to you, should's a shaming word, Brian. You're not allowed to say should.
I know, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. And we did.
It would be wonderful if you'd had a community.
Yeah.
Like Brian said, listen, you can go to wherever you want, but it's very, very important. We've told you this before. It's really important to surround yourself by like-minded people who know what you're talking about, who want the same dream as you, and who you're just going to feel supported by. Yep. So if you would like to find out more about our community, then you can take our free 5-day video guide that me and Brian made. It's 5 days of wonderful little calming videos. Do you know what someone emailed me the other day?
What?
And they
fell
said,
asleep?
Pardon?
Fell asleep?
No.
Oh, all right. That calming. I fell asleep.
God, it's boring, those videos.
It's day 5.
No, they emailed me and said, I kept replaying it because it was
it's lovely calming music.
Yeah, it
isn't
is. It's really calming.
Yeah.
It's really calming. I don't know what's happened to me. I'm not as calm as I used to be. I need to take a few more chill pills, I think.
Calm down.
But yeah, you can get our free 5-day video guide where we will share some aspect of life in New Zealand. It is guaranteed to make you feel calm.
Sleepy. Yeah, so head on over to www.nzahead.com/free. That's www.nzahead.com/free.
Take the free 5-day video guides, and on day 5, you will be given details of how to join our beautiful, gorgeous, lovely private NZ Ahead community. Right, without further ado, let's jump on in and find out what this digital nomad visa is all about.
Take it away, Charlotte.
Got it.
Welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. Everything you need to know about moving to and living in New Zealand.
There's a whole world here.
So nice to be with you again.
We call it Aotearoa around here, bro.
You'll be right.
We are your hosts, Liz and Brian.
Amazing New Zealand in the southern seas.
See, that's where I belong. That's home.
Charlotte, good morning and welcome back to the podcast.
Hi guys, so good to be back chatting with you.
So thrilled about this, and we are super excited about this week's subject because it's something that we hold close to our heart. We're going to be talking about the digital nomad visa. Before we jump into that, can you tell us what a digital nomad is? What's the definition of a digital nomad?
Me.
Yeah, you guys are a great example of digital nomads. I'm probably also sometimes a part-time digital nomad as I'm traveling for work occasionally, but effectively a digital nomad is someone who works remotely. They can work from anywhere in the world. So much like you guys, you might just need a camera, some microphones and a computer, and you can do your job from anywhere. So there are a lot of people, particularly post-COVID, who are now working as digital nomads. So they're traveling the world, making the most of life, but also earning money while they're living their best lives.
Fantastic. Does that sound like you, Bri?
Yeah, well, it does. And the great thing is what it used to be, I remember getting a visa all those years ago for going to the USA. You had to get a visa and it was an indefinite multiple entry thing. But it said you mustn't do any work or even do work for your own company there. And it was just like, oh, you didn't think that, do you?
No. And it's been that way until just now with Immigration New Zealand. So they basically, what they've done is they've said it is okay to actually work while you are in New Zealand on a visitor visa or on an NZETA. So previously to this announcement, the rule was that if you were here on holiday or visiting family or friends or whatever it might be, you weren't actually allowed to work, even though that may have been for an offshore company. They were saying, nope, that's it. You are here on holiday and that is all. So it didn't make New Zealand an overly attractive place, whether it was to come and spend an extended period of time or even if it was just to come and visit friends and family, because people were scared that if they opened their laptops or replied to a few emails for an offshore company, that they could actually jeopardize their visas.
Right. So is this a completely new thing then? Has this never been around before, the digital nomad visa?
So it's a bit of an interesting one. It isn't actually a new visa per se, even though that is kind of what the government has announced it as. But we are effectively sticking with the visitor visa, or the NZETAs, as we've already had them. But what it will mean is that it will actually be a lot easier for people to get visitor visas or extended stays. So previously you had to be able to provide evidence that you had sufficient funds to support yourself while you were in New Zealand. And that solely had to come from either credit cards or your savings. You weren't allowed to demonstrate evidence of income coming in that would be guaranteed while you were in the country. So it makes it, in a sense, it's still an old visa that we've always had, but it's, I guess they've rebranded it and made it a little bit more exciting and easier to get. So it will make it a lot easier for people to be able to come into New Zealand for between 9 to 12 months and actually live and work here remotely, because they will be able to show, hey, look, I've actually got this employment offshore that's paying me, which means I can sustain myself rather than just having to rely on their credit cards or their bank savings.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Because so people, if you don't have this digital nomad visa and you are a bit of a digital nomad, in theory, then you're not supposed to get any income when you're here at the moment?
You can. So it does apply to anyone. So for people who are from what we call visa waiver countries, so the US, the UK, to name two, that they can come in on what we call an NZETA. So it's kind of like an electronic travel authority. So even if you come into the country on that, you, if you're a UK citizen, you're granted 6 months at the border. If you're a US citizen, you're granted 3. So you still can come in on that NZETA and work for your company offshore. But if you wanted to actually stay for a longer period of time, which is really what Immigration New Zealand is trying to attract you to do, you can apply for a further visa for the maximum duration is actually 12 months. So if you come in, for example, as a British citizen and you get your 6-month NZETA at the border, and then you say, hey, actually, I kind of want to hang out for another 6 months because I want to travel your beautiful country a bit more, Immigration New Zealand, at their discretion, can actually grant a further 6 months to you.
Right.
So it just means that rather than, trying to, again, prove that you've got enough savings to support yourself, you're probably more likely to have that stay extended just because you can show you've got offshore employment that's sustaining you while you're here.
Right. I've got a bunch of questions. First, when did they announce this announcement? When did the government do this?
It was end of January, so it's pretty fresh off the press.
That's great. So we're right on it now. We're bang on, aren't we?
Yeah, bang on. Yeah.
And 2, is there an age limit to it? No age limit.
No age limit. So you could be 80, 90 years old. Perhaps you've got your own business that you're still working in, and you can come and spend as much time in New Zealand as you want.
We hope for us.
Well, within 12 months, not
12 months.
quite as much as you want.
Yep.
And my last question is, if you came over, let's just say I'm a travel blogger, and I come to New Zealand and I'm making money with my blog, and I'm here for 12 months, and I really want to stay. I love it. I've fallen in love with the country. How would I then stay on? What would you advise me to do to stay on? Because obviously I'm going to come and love it and not want to leave after 12 months. What would I do then?
Yeah, so this is actually an interesting one that's cropped up quite quickly since this announcement came. Particularly, we've got a number of people out of the US who are able to work remotely and who are just wanting an alternative of a different place to live right now. And they're wanting to look to secure a pathway to stay permanently. So in the case of my clients, these are people who have already established that they want to move to New Zealand, but they're now using this to kind of fast track the process. So traditionally, we have had a number of people who have said, we want to come out on job search trips, but that can be a risk because often, one, you can't work while you're here. previously. And two, there's obviously, sometimes people have to take extended periods of leave from work or not work at all, which then financially becomes a bit hard. So one, if you're someone who's already decided you want to move to New Zealand and you can actually work remotely, you could use this visa as a bit of a bridging visa to come and be in the country and search for employment while you're here. You do have to be a little bit careful. So if you are questioned at the border or you're applying for a visa, what you need to declare is one, you've got your offshore employment to support yourself, but two, you actually need to declare that your intention is to come in what we call look, see, decide. So Immigration New Zealand have special policy for people who are wanting to come and potentially look, see, and decide if New Zealand's somewhere they want to live permanently, and they will actually allow you on that basis to come and search for work as well as while you're working remotely for your offshore company. So I've got a couple counsellors at the moment who are able to do their counselling sessions online with their patients. Their aim is to then get a job offer in New Zealand as a counsellor, but they have to go through a registration process. So while they're working through that in the background, they're actually coming into New Zealand, continuing work for their offshore company while they then search for work in New Zealand. So for people who fall quite clearly under those skilled migrant categories, whether it is the skilled migrant category itself or the green lists, it is a really great means of actually getting you in the country to be onshore to apply for jobs. Travel bloggers, probably a little bit of a harder one. You'd have to get a job, so you couldn't actually keep extending that digital nomad visa / visitor visa indefinitely to stay in the country. But if someone, the magazine or a website or someone in New Zealand hired you locally for a role, then you'd be able to stay on a different visa.
So are there any health things that you've got to do for that 12-month period? Have you've got to have your own insurance or anything like that?
Always recommended that you hold travel insurance. So anyone who holds a visa for less than 2 years isn't entitled to free healthcare here. You are covered regardless by ACC, our Accident Compensation Corporation. So if you are out running or hiking or mountain biking and you hurt yourself, you will be covered for that treatment. But if you need hospital treatment, doctor treatment, you do definitely need to hold private insurance. So that's always, regardless of where you're going in the world, right? Travel insurance is pretty important.
Yeah.
So you do need to make sure you hold that. The other consideration is if you're coming with a family that your children cannot attend school unless you enroll them as international students, which comes with a cost, and your partner, if you have one, isn't actually able to work unless they also have remote work that they can continue doing. So it's not really a family solution as such, unless again you can put your kids in as international students. But it is definitely, if you're willing, I guess, for a short period of time to go down to one income, if only one person can work remotely, then it could work really well for you.
Well, as an international student, just say for like a 10-year-old child or something, what would that roughly cost? Because I know they all vary, but...
Yeah, somewhere between 10 to 20,000 New Zealand dollars per year. So it is quite substantial.
Just leave them at home with the neighbours. Yeah, that's the best.
Easier.
I think this is super exciting because I was, applying it to our own situation. And I just thought let's say, for example, I'm a writer and I make money online and Bri is a plumber and he hasn't got a job offer. That means we could come to New Zealand for a year. I could still be earning money doing my writing online. So like you say, you've still got an income coming in while we look around the country, find a job for Bri as a plumber. I just think
which would be very hard for me.
It would now, Bri, because no one wants an old person.
Might take a year or two.
But it's so exciting because like you say, it opens up everyone, like in our community, in our NZ Ahead community, as you know, Charlotte, people are always saying, we're going to come over on a 2-week recce. Well, 2 weeks, that's great. Better than nothing. But imagine being able to just come over for a year and just think, wow, I can take my time and I can really have a look around.
But I suppose you've got to prove your income.
You would need to. So the threshold for Immigration New Zealand is actually quite low. You only have to prove that you've got $1,000 per month per person to sustain yourself. So if you're a family of 4, for example, $4,000 per month. But I mean, that would be, you could use an employment agreement in lieu of that. So if you had an agreement for an offshore company or a contract, then you can just say, hey, look, I've got this contract gig or I've got this permanent employment for an offshore entity and it is paying X amount, per week, per month, whatever it may be. So you do still, a lot of the conditions around visitor visas that we've always had do still remain. So you do still have to, you have to show that you are financially able to support yourself. If you require any additional health checks, you may need to go through those. So people from certain countries, if you're planning on staying for 6 months or longer, have to have chest x-rays to prove they don't have TB. So all of those little things still apply. But like I said, rather than having to say, oh, I've got $50,000 in my bank account to support my family for a period of time, you can just say, well, actually, I've got this job and this job I can continue doing while I'm in the country, and that will support us while we're here.
Yeah.
Is there any reason why it is only for 12 months? Because the likes of Spain, Italy, Portugal, they offer it's indefinite until you get residency.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why New Zealand's not
Be
doing the same.
Be
Because
grateful they've
no, but
just
it's not
started
taking
it.
a job off a New Zealander, is it? That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
It's a new thing.
And
It's
you're
not.
actually you're actually supporting the local community by buying stuff.
Yeah, so that is definitely where it has fallen short. So even as an immigration advisor, I will say immigration don't get it perfect all the time. They definitely have fallen short in that space. So it would have made more sense if, rather than kind of adding on this extra benefit to people applying for a visitor visa, it would have been better if they had established, a visa in its own right, even if it was for up to 2 years potentially, with the option to renew. But who knows? I mean, they could, if they see that there's a lot of demand for it and it's becoming a lot more popular, they then can actually go and play with policy. I have a bit of a feeling that the government had kind of campaigned on all these different things in the immigration space, and they hadn't really delivered on any of them to date. So it may have been a case of, we need to get something on the table to actually look like we're addressing these things we promised. So, but the 12-month maximum is in line with current visitor visa policy.
Right.
So typically it's up to 9 months, but if you can show that you are a genuine tourist and you've got genuine tourism purposes between that 9 and 12-month mark, you can get up to 12 months in total.
Right.
Give it time.
Yeah.
I think, like you say, they see people using it and everything, and it'll be more popular, and just give it time by it's new. Is it expensive? Is it an expensive visa, this one, or are they the same, or is it free, or what? How does that work?
Yeah, so the cost of the visa does depend on how many people you have traveling. Does also depend on sometimes where you come from in the world. So for our American friends, what we call a fee waiver applies. So you actually only pay $100 for the visa. $100 per person for the visa. If you're from the UK, it's $441 for the first applicant and then $100 for each applicant after that. So one, it depends on where you come from, and two, it depends on how big your family is or how many people are traveling. But a lot cheaper than applying for a work visa outright, a lot cheaper than applying for residency outright. So ultimately, it is quite a cheap way to get yourself into the country for a period of time, either if you are coming for a recce or you just want to come hang out on an extended holiday and do a bit of work while you're here.
So when it comes to this, if someone wants to apply for this, did they just contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. We've submitted a number of these already. We've had quite a bit of demand, which we weren't quite expecting, but we have had quite a bit of demand already. So yeah, people are welcome to reach out to us directly. My email is charlotte@nzshores, which I know you guys will drop in the blurb as well. But yeah, look, more than happy to answer questions or give some guidance, or of course, some assistance if people are after it.
Yeah, thanks, Charlotte.
Right.
And before I let you go, because I do want to just quickly talk about the fact that you're in our community, you're there to chat to people one-on-one in a community, which is fantastic. We thank you so much for offering that service. Are there many people in the community that are taking you up on this? Because I know that there's a couple of artists and a couple of musicians in our group, isn't there? That was,
Yeah.
I think we've had 2 so far that I know of. I am only one advisor of 12 in our company though, so sometimes people do come through to us via other channels, so I don't necessarily know the total numbers that are happening.
That's great. That's
definitely
great.
had 2 so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes a huge difference between that 6 months to 12 months to look for work.
That's what I said. Yeah, it's brilliant.
That's the best side of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
My last question is it a difficult visa? Because I know some of these visas, some are easier than others to get. How would you put this in a what difficult or easy or middle?
I would say overall, it's made visitor visas easier to obtain. Like I said previously, you had to be able to show that you had enough funds to support yourself through either credit cards or, savings in your bank account. And often not many people necessarily want to show immigration that they have that much money to stay in the country for a 9-month period. And given the fact that you can continue working while you're here, which means you're still earning and you're not just, gouging through those savings or racking up a massive credit card bill, on an individual level, it makes it easier. It also makes it easier for immigration to assess that you are genuine. Immigration still want to see that you are a genuine visitor, but with the now added ability that you can work, they'll be less concerned about you overstaying. They'll be less concerned about you initially taking a job off a Kiwi. So it should mean that visitor visas are actually a lot more readily approved, and they don't come up across those setbacks of, particularly if you are coming for a recce. Some people, I've had clients who have just quit their jobs, decided that's it, we're selling everything, we're going on this visitor visa, and we're going to, we're staying. So we do get people who do that, but it just means that it's a bit of a soft landing because you can continue working and immigration will be able to say, okay, well, cool, you've still got employment, so we're not worried about you getting stuck here.
Yeah. Right. Before we let you go, just tell people, because I'm always telling people this, but I like it when I hear it from you. But I know that your company offer when you first reach out, like, am I going to be able to? Am I not? And I love that about you guys, that you are so open and it's like, don't bother, or yes, you've got a really good chance. So, what is that service that you offer when people first reach out?
Yeah, so 9 times out of 10, we can offer a free eligibility assessment unless there's something really weird or complex about your situation that requires a bit more homework from our side. Even so, we only charge 67 New Zealand dollars if we do have to go through a paid process, so it's still not super expensive. And what we will do as part of that is we will look at you, your partner if you have one, your children. We look at the entire family and we will pick out any issues that may arise. So if there's health concerns or criminal convictions, we'll establish from the outset, hey, this is what is going to be required, or hey, maybe it's going to be a bit hard to get a visa. And we'll also pinpoint your exact pathway to residency based on policy as it stands. So we'll say, yep, this is the type of job you need to get, this is the pay threshold you'll need to meet, and this is what applying for residence will look like, whether that's you fall under the straight to residence category and you can apply straight away, or whether you have to work in New Zealand for a period of time. So we try to avoid people coming into the country who don't know once they get here what staying looks like. We know not every company does that. We have come across people who've had visas done by other companies and then they've arrived in the country and I've got no idea how I'm going to stay. So we make sure that people understand what that looks like right from the outset.
Yeah, fantastic. Right. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you or Brian hasn't asked you that you'd like people to know before I let you go?
I don't think so. I guess the only thing I really want to touch on and reiterate is you will need that travel insurance. So definitely don't come to New Zealand expecting that you will get free healthcare without that. So just be mindful. That has caught a couple people out thinking they'll come to New Zealand, they can stay and have access to free healthcare and free education. So there's just one thing to be mindful of. But otherwise, that's kind of it, really. It's relatively straightforward, which is quite cool.
And just to say, let people know that they don't so much need the travel insurance, they just need health insurance.
Yeah.
There's a big difference because I know we were in Canada not so long ago and we just got health insurance and it's a quarter of the price of travel insurance.
Wow.
Because you don't need cancellation and you don't need this because you're not doing anything like that, are you? So just look at, I think
it's called Genki. We'll put the link down below, and it's an insurance for digital nomads. That's what it is. It's
amazing.
It's long-term travelers. So like Bryce said,
it's just health insurance.
Yeah, because usually your credit card will cover you, like if you break your computer or something like that. But you just want that health insurance. So I will put the link to Genki down. I think that's how you say it, Genki or Genki.
Yeah,
but they've been fantastic with us, haven't they?
It's a Dutch company or something like that. Yeah, or German, one of the two.
Yeah, no, they've been fantastic. Sonny hurt his shoulder when we were skiing, and they were great. Anyway, that's another story. As always, it is a complete joy to speak to you. You are so open and you're so full of enthusiasm for New Zealand and just willingness to share. Yeah, you are, Charlotte. I know you don't like it when I start praising you like this, sometimes you just have to take it, girl.
Oh, thanks,
Yes,
You just
you do.
have to take it. You're amazing. So
I think we've got an amazing little slice of paradise down here at the bottom of the world. So I still get warm fuzzies when my clients get residency or figure out a pathway. And I've been doing this for 10 years. So yeah, I do love our little slice of paradise, and I'll happily sell it to anyone who wants to move.
yeah,
I know.
us
And
too.
we need the skilled migrants as well.
We do.
That's
We
what's
do.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do.
We need
We
you.
do.
Yeah.
We
So-
do need you.
We'll put your email in the description. It'll be on the screen. And until we speak to you next time when they make another announcement, it's great when they make these announcements because I whiffed straight in on it. So thank you so much for joining us, Charlotte. Have a fabulous day. And,
You too.
and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast this week. We have loved having you here with us.
If you love this week's show, please share this with your friends. Send it to anybody you know that wants to think about moving to New Zealand, and get on over here yourself.
And tell them how brilliant it is as well. And also, if you haven't signed up for our free 5-day video guide showing you what life is like, really like, in New Zealand, then go over to the website and sign up. You are missing out. This is brilliant. Go over to www.nzahead/free and we will send you 5 days worth of videos about what life is like in New Zealand. You are going to love it. So one more time, that website that you need to sign up for the free 5-day guide is www.nzahead/free. So we're going to see you next week. Until then, have a great week and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Say bye, girl. Bye.
Bye.